Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck. So, as I just returned from Italy, oh what a beautiful, beautiful place. I went to the amazing Tuscan metropolis known as Florence, or Fur-en-zay as the Italians call it, which is probably the proper name if that's what the Italians call it. So, I took a day trip from Rome, and that only meant about 10 hours there, so that means of course eating as much as possible, and of course drinking wine as much as possible, and enjoying the piazzas and stuff, but the food was the priority of course. So, I went to this place and had the most amazing yet simple pasta. It was a rigatoni dish. It was wonderfully al dente, so this is for al dente lovers, which means that it's more of a firmer pasta. It's a little bit, almost a little bit chewy. It's not going to be super soft and mushy. So this pasta is a simple marinara sauce that you're going to make yourselves. You're going to see how easy it is with some cheese mixed into it, and it creates this unbelievably amazing flavor that's going to make your mouth so happy. It's going to sing, "Oh sole mio." You see, I could do it. So guys, let's go right to the Instant Pot because I'm making a dish that I love so much that I'm naming it after that fine city of Firenze. Guys, we are making Rigatoni Firenze. Pronto. I'm gonna start with one small yellow onion, and I'm gonna dice it up. Now I wanna go to the Instant Pot and I wanna add 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and heat it up. So now I want to come down to my Instant Pot and hit the saute function and adjust so I'm on the more or the high setting. You see that right there. And after about 3 minutes of the oil heating up, we're going to now add in our onions. And we're just going to cook that around in the pot in the oil for about 5 minutes until the onions soften a bit and become a little translucent. And really let these cook in the pot for about 5 minutes or so because we really want the flavor to come out in the onions. A little tip for you, the longer an onion cooks in some olive oil or some butter, the more flavor that comes out of those onions. They're pretty much a critical element to making this sauce taste absolutely divine. And you see now that our onions are a nice kind of lightly browned color, we are good to go. We're gonna add in some garlic, a tablespoon of it that's nice and crushed. And we're gonna mix that around with the onions, and we're gonna let this cook for about another minute. Make sure you're deglazing and scraping the bottom of the pot at the same time because the garlic will want to brown on the bottom of it. And now I want to toss in about 5 good-sized basil leaves, fresh basil leaves. And then just stir that around inside the pot with the onion and the garlic. And we're looking good here. Perfect. Now it's time to add some liquid. I'm going to add in 1½ cups of garlic broth. And I'm using 1 teaspoon of garlic Better Than Bouillon mixed with 3/4 of a cup of water. If you can't find the roasted garlic flavor, I'll link to where you can get it online, or you can use chicken broth as well. The chicken flavor will do. Okay, so now let's really deglaze the bottom of the pot now that we put our liquid in there, so we have nothing stuck on it. And now it's time to add some crushed tomatoes. Now guys, I strongly emphasize, if you can, to use San Marzano kind, that's from Italy, of crushed tomatoes. It's a world of difference. If you can't find them, don't worry about it. You can use regular crushed. I use a 28-ounce can, but if you can find San Marzano, I'm telling you it makes a world of difference. And I'm gonna dump that in the pot. So now I just want to stir everything around so the broth gets nice and combined with the crushed tomatoes. Now I want to season this up with a teaspoon of kosher salt, a teaspoon of seasoned salt, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and a teaspoon of oregano. And now let's mix all that up together in the pot. Very good. And we have one more liquid to add. And that's going to be 1/4 cup of a dry red wine, like a Pinot Noir. If you can't find anything like a dry red wine, and if you only have red cooking wine lying around, you can use that, but try to use a good red wine if possible. It doesn't have to be expensive. A nice dry one. Okay, stir that together. And now we're going to add our pasta. And that's going to be a wonderful rigatoni, guys. Rigatoni is the absolute pasta of choice for this. It is phenomenal, and you're going to see these ridges are going to come in mighty, mighty handy, as will the holes. I'm adding a whole 16-ounce box of this, which is a pound of pasta. And I just want to kind of smooth it out on top. I don't really want to push down too hard. It's okay if not everything's covered by the sauce. It will cook just fine. So this is absolutely fine as is. Let's get the lid on top and cook. Go. I'm securing my lid, making sure I'm in sealing position. And now let's come back to the control panel, hit the cancel button or the keep warm cancel button depending on your model. And then also depending on your model, you'll hit the pressure cook or the manual button. And we want to go on this, guys, for 8 minutes at high pressure. Now if you want a pasta that's a little bit more al dente, stay on the 8-minute side. If you want it a little bit softer, go to 10 minutes. Either one you want to do is fine, but I like one a little more al dente, so I'm going to start with on 8 minutes. Okay, that's it. Now that the pasta's done cooking, it's time to do a quick release. And the pin drops, so let's take the lid off. And there's our pasta. So now let's take a spoon and let's just mix everything up in here. Everything will have cooked perfectly. Nice and al dente, exactly how we want it. And the sauce is absolutely beautiful, I gotta tell you. Now the pasta is going to be more on the al dente side right now because I don't want it to be super soft because we have to add in our next ingredient, which is going to be cheese. And it's going to turn this thing into something very special. And we have to do a lot of stirring, so if it was super soft, the pasta, it would break apart, and I want it to kind of retain its form. But since everything is still very hot in the pot right now, the pasta is still cooking at the same time, so it's going to become perfect by the time we're done. Alright, so don't worry if it feels too al dente or the noodles don't feel fully cooked just yet. They'll be totally fine when we're all done. Alright, let's add our cheese. I want to add about a cup of mozzarella cheese. Now, I strongly recommend, if you can, to find the kind that has like the cream cheese in the mozzarella cheese because that makes it melt really, really, really well. And I'm going to put about a cup of that in there. And I'm going to stir it in. That's going to get nice and combined into our sauce. It's going to look super ooey and gooey as we mix it up. But don't worry, it's going to combine and meld in nicely. Look at that. Crazy. Oh yeah. And now I want to add about a quarter of a cup of like a shaved Asiago or a Parmesan as well. And then stir that in. And you can see the cheese basically becomes hidden after a while. All the stretchiness goes away and it just becomes this ooey gooey mass of cheese within the sauce. And this is looking phenomenal, guys. Look at this beautiful, beautiful Rigatoni Firenze is what I'm calling it because, well, it's this amazing pasta dish I had in Florence. So I feel like it's fitting to call it after the place that I had it in. And if the rigatoni didn't feel fully cooked before, it certainly will be now. After about 5 minutes of stirring around with the cheese, we are ready to serve. So guys, let's get a bowl and serve this beauty up. So here we go. Isn't that a beauty right there? Oh, gorgeous. It's really a beautiful pasta all around to look at and to eat. So guys, let's top it off with a little more cheese and some basil. A little bit more shaved cheese here. And a basil leaf, because why not? And it's time to dig in and eat. Alright guys, here it is. Let's try it out. Oh boy, I love this stuff. This is a really, really unbelievably delicious pasta. And it's so simple. And vegetarians can eat it. Oh man. The pasta is cooked so well. It has a nice al dente bite to it, which I really, really enjoy for this dish. It reminds me of the dish that I had when I was in Florence. And the sauce is just this blend of like a rich tomato cheesy sauce. It just sends it home. It's a wonderfully thick, nice homemade, as you saw, marinara sauce. And it's just full of delicious, rich flavor. Like authentic Italian food, truly. And those San Marzano tomatoes, in my opinion, they really do make a big difference. Look at this. Look at this rich, delicious sauce. And what I love about rigatoni is you have that big hole in the middle to seep up all the sauce, and then you have the ridges on the outside to latch onto it. I love the al dente to it. Now, if you're not a big fan of al dente, which means that your pasta is a little more chewy, it means to the tooth. If you're not a fan of it, you can cook the pasta a little longer in the pot. You can go for another 2 minutes or so, and it'll be even softer if you prefer that. But I love it, and I think the thing is absolutely magnificent. It's a delicious, delicious dish, and it couldn't be easier to make. Guys, if you enjoy these videos and you want more recipes that are quick, easy, simple, and fantastic, go to pressurelockcooking.com. I have a ton of recipes. Peruse there. They run the gamut, and I have lots of wonderful recipes from healthy to comfort, from vegan to carnivore. It's all there for you, and more are gonna just keep coming. Go to facebook.com/pressurelockcooking and like the page, please, because I have tons of stuff there that you don't want to miss out on. Lots of new recipes that drop all the time. You'll be notified. Sales and items, tips, and of course humor. And at Pressure Luck to subscribe to me on YouTube, where all my videos live, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Guys, thank you so much, and it is with great pride and pleasure that I'm able to bring some of Italy's most delicious cuisine right home to you. Enjoy.